Welcome back to Autopro View. Today we have something very special lined up. We're diving deep into the 2026 Chevrolet Corvette, a car that pushes boundaries like never before. Whether you're a hardcore gearhead or just love to soak in what's new in supercar tech, this one's going to be a wild ride. Let's get into it. 2. You've probably heard by now that 2026 is a landmark year for the Corvette. Chevrolet didn't just drop a new trim. They've revamped key parts of the lineup, especially the interior, and introduced a hypercar-level monster in the form of the ZR1X. So, what makes the 2026 Corvette stand out? For starters, the interior has gone through a serious makeover. Across all trims, from the entry-level Stingray to the race-bred ZR1 and the new hybrid ZR1X, Chevy has installed a new cockpit layout centered around 3 digital displays. You get a 14-inch driver information screen behind the wheel, a 12.7-inch central infotainment display, and a 6.6-inch auxiliary screen to the left of the steering wheel. That's right, a third screen dedicated to extra functions and controls. Beyond that, Chevy has cleaned up the center console, removing the so-called Great Wall of Buttons found in previous models. The new design gives a sleeker, more modern look, and it's more integrated with vehicle settings and the infotainment system. One of the major enhancements in electronics is the use of Google built into the Corvette's infotainment architecture. That means voice control, smart connectivity, seamless navigation updates. It's not just bells and whistles. It's a serious upgrade in daily usability. On the engineering and performance front, the base Stingray retains the brand's 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8, paired with an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission and RWD layout. In 2026, that package continues to deliver 490 horsepower and around 465 lb-ft of torque. Chevy claims a 0-60 mm sprint in the low 2.9 seconds for the Stingray, a benchmark we've seen before in the C8 generation, but now made more competitive with internal updates and lighter weight. One small but thoughtful visual update: the Stingray is getting a new base wheel design for 2026. The prior 5 open-spoke silver wheels are being replaced by a 5 split-spoke design in a pearl nickel finish, a subtle but classy refresh to give more visual flair at the entry trim level. Now, if you step up from the Stingray to the Z06, you get a more aggressive suspension, aerodynamics, and hardware geared for track performance. While most of the Z06 powertrain continues from the prior version, for 2026 it also inherits the new interior updates and driver aids introduced across the lineup. But the real headline stealer is ZR1X. This is Corvette's boldest move yet, a hybrid all-wheel drive hypercar inside a familiar mid-engine shell. LT7 5.5 LV8s making 164 HP and 80-28 lb-ft of torque with a front axle electric motor that adds an extra 136 HP and 145 lb-ft. Altogether, you're looking at about 250 horsepower output. Chevrolet estimates 60 mph in under 2 seconds and quarter-mile runs in under 9 seconds. That's hypercar territory. To handle that kind of power, the ZR1X uses an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission and all-wheel drive via its electric motor. The aero and braking package are upgraded aggressively. It uses carbon fiber aero bits, dive planes, and a high downforce rear wing to keep it planted. Brake hardware is also expanded. Corvette's largest brakes ever, with Alcan 10-piston front and 6-piston rear calipers paired to carbon ceramic rotors. The claimed deceleration is 1.9 G, braking from 1980 to 120 mph. Interestingly, there's also talk that the ZR1X may already have lapped the Nürburgring to set a record for American production cars. Reports suggest a time around 16:49.275. Chevy has positioned the ZR1X in a niche between premium exotic performance and attainable insanity. The coupe starts at $207,395, while the convertible begins at $207,395. There's also a limited quail silver edition of the ZR1X, featuring a special matte, blade silver, paint unique interior accents, and higher-end features. That one goes for around $241,395 before destination. For reference, the base Stingray is priced from around $71,995 in US dollars for the 1LT coupe. When it comes to production, the 2026 Corvette officially began rolling off the line in August 2025, earlier than expected. Pre-orders opened around June 2025, with deliveries planned to begin in September 2025. One interesting fact: because of how GM engineered the C8 platform from the start, they planned for a halo model like ZR1X from day one. This modularity allows the platform to evolve from Stingray up to full-blown electrified AWD performance. Let's talk about driving dynamics. With the ZR1X all-wheel drive, torque vectoring, adaptive suspension, and track control systems like PTM Pro and enhanced stability aids, Chevy is making sure the car is not just about raw power, but control. These systems help on the racetrack and in everyday driving scenarios. Chevrolet also upgraded the software side, new driving modes, better traction and stability tuning, and performance telemetry baked into the system. On the flip side, one interesting trade-off by pushing so much more power and electronics. Chevy has acknowledged that for 2026, they leaned more into interior refinement over more power everywhere. In other words, the performance side has mostly held steady except ZR1X, while the comfort, usability, and tech got the largest bump. Inside, besides the screens, materials are upgraded too. Softer surfaces, better stitching, premium leathers, new color options, and features like enhanced wireless charging. From a reliability standpoint, early data suggests the Corvette retains its 3-year, 36,000-mile basic warranty. There's always the question, what about fuel economy? With that V8 in the Stingray, expect modest figures by performance, car standards, performance over efficiency. For ZR1X, the hybrid system may help under light throttle, but once you're tearing down the track, efficiency isn't the name of the game. Chevy hasn't yet published full-cycle numbers as of this moment, though all in all, the 2026 Corvette represents a smart evolution. Chevy kept what worked, the mid-engine layout, the potent V8 base, the performance DNA, while leveling up the cabin, connectivity, and creating a real halo model in ZR1X that puts it in supercar territory without going full 7-figure exotic. If I were to sum it up, the 2026 Corvette is more refined, smarter, and more extreme at the top end. For fans, it's proof that the Corvette is still full of surprises after decades. 2. That wraps up our deep dive on the 2026 Chevrolet Corvette. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to Autopro View, and drop a comment. Which version do you want most? The practical Stingray, the track-ready Z06, or the insane ZR1X? Let me know. I'll see you in the next video.